What's up? I'm going to show you some simple tricks that I use all the time in Ableton to, produce. I've been working on it for a few years here, and these are the things that I consistently keep going back to. And this is something that you can see with like any of the main artists. I mean, a lot of the stuff is the simplest tools to get stuff done, and a lot of these are available for free. And let's get right into it. First, I know I've got a lot of kick racks here, but one of the things that I learned is to open a drum rack, and you can see here, I have, how many kicks here? This is probably 80 kicks, and I would just go through on the piano roll, for example. So this is the kick that I've kind of chosen here, but if we open up the piano roll, we can see there's a ton of kicks in the rack. So on this example, let me take this down a little bit. If we just get into the track here and I'll pan through all the drums, that's basically how I find, a good kick and stuff. So I will just roll through and I'll save, well, this many. So I'll save 5 or 6 kicks that I like, and then I'll narrow it down from there. So let's just go through some. Actually, I don't mind that one. So let's just loop this. I like the top of that one. That's pretty good too. So we'll duplicate. And a lot of times on this one I'm duplicating, I'll have like, kick one, whatever you want to name it, but I'll just name these. So we have some options here, and we can kind of pan through and be like, okay, well, which one do I like here? So for example, let's just go through them. I like the forward grittiness of that one. It's got a lot of front. And I like the sub of this one, so I like the grittiness of this and the sub of this. So sometimes what we can do, and I find myself using this all the time, a lot of, and there's several ways you can do this, but basically I'm just gonna cut off the lows, and then on the other side, this is a very simple way of doing it. On the other side, I'm just gonna cut off, well, it's already there. I'm going to cut off a good bit of the highs, and then we'll combine. Let's say this is the attack and this is the main kick. So let's see how this sounds. Play with the levels. I kind of like them equal, so pretty close. Now the next thing, so this is one thing that I'm going to show you guys, this lead here. So it's cool, but I don't want it to be these 16th notes. So let me show you. A lot of the times I'm finding an initial sound, and then I will alter it. So if we open up a rift here, so that's giving us like a 16th note thing. I find myself using these two plugins all the time, Rift and Thermal. After you've made a sound, it's really about sculpting that sound, right? So for example, in Thermal, I know that there's just one that does 8th notes. And again, you can control, there's actually a visual spectrum here, but you can control all of the amounts of this stuff. And so I'm just gonna take Rift off and I'm gonna go back. So that's more what I want. And then another thing is always listen in the context of the track, right? So it's getting pretty lost, so it needs to come out. maybe with kickstart off, again, this is another option. So there we go, there's a cool one. So adjusting the level, fully open, fully closed. So let's hear that in context. This is my first YouTube kind of sharing thing, so there's an example, there you have it, and couple really simple things to make a huge difference. Any of these can be super impactful to your track, so take care.